You wake up and the first 2/3 of your day is taken up by school or college. You have to wake up, get ready for school, pack your bags, pack your food, etc. You have to do a 30-minute walk to get to a bus that takes an hour to commute to your sixth form. You get into sixth form by 8:45, just barely, just to reach assembly. And then after assembly, you do your normal classes, you know how it is. You know, maths, and then PE, and then, oh, I've got an hour free, then maths again, and then, oh my god, I've got biology now, whatever. Then, school finishes at 3:15. But it doesn't finish for you at 3:15. See, you've had to get a bus there, so now you've got to wait for the bus back. Now, the bus back doesn't arrive until 4:10, and it's never, ever on time. It's always here at 4:30, then you commute back, and then you've got to walk back home. So, in actuality, you don't get home from school. Your school time doesn't finish until 5:30 on most days, sometimes 6 o'clock. You walk back in, brain's absolutely fatigued from all the memorization and all the stupid work that you've got to do that you're not even really interested in. You get home and you've got 4 hours left of your day to be productive. You've got 4 hours to do what you actually care about. You spent 12 hours of it doing things that you don't care about, and now you've got 4 hours to do what you actually care about. The only problem is you've got 2 meals to eat, you've got a gym session to go to, you've got to figure out what to do for your work task, you've got to study. All these different things that you've got to do. Bear in mind, your brain is already absolutely fatigued from the long day that you just had in college in sixth form. Most people can't manage that. And I couldn't manage that for a while. And it's only until I became efficient with my time that I was able to, in that situation, which was very much my situation for a year in the first year of sixth form, that was exactly my timetable. Everything I walked you through was my day routine. That was my exact timetable. And it was only because I became efficient with my time and I had to cram in so many different tasks into certain areas because I realised, oh, I've got a pocket of time there, I've got a pocket of time there. And I was super, super manageable and efficient with my time that I was able to actually be productive and make progress in the areas that I care about, like fitness, without sacrificing other areas that I also care about, like studying, like my personal work. The key to this, by the way, is a schedule. This is my favourite piece of advice to give. The key to that is having a schedule. Having a schedule in any area of your life that you care about, that you want to make progress in, is the only way you're going to be successful. This can apply to fitness, having a diet schedule, having a sleep schedule, having a training workout schedule so you know when to train, how to train for your best productivity, you know when to eat so you can get activate protein synthesis, you know when to sleep, what time to go to sleep, how long it takes you to fall asleep so you can get the best sleep schedule for recovery. Whether it's your personal work, maybe you want to build a business, maybe you want to help people, so you have to have a business for producing content or producing work that you think is meaningful to people so you can get the most productivity out of it that way. Maybe it's studying, having a studying schedule so you know, right, I'm going to study at these hours at these times so I get enough studying in so I'm prepared for the exam. I'm productive enough so I can get my target grades. Having a schedule is absolutely crucial in any area of life to become successful. Any area at all. Doesn't matter what it's about. And building a schedule around the things that you care about in your life, being time efficient with it, is going to be able to be managing. It's going to be able to help you manage, optimizing one area of your life without sacrificing another. And that's where we get onto how to optimize your time so you can build a dream physique in your college or sixth form without sacrificing your studies that you also care about. And you need to build schedules for that. This the only way, because you're not going to get in from fucking college at 5:30, and if you don't know exactly what you're going to do, and you need to think about what you're going to do, boom, there's an hour or two gone, an hour gone from eating. You've got 2 hours left. That's barely a gym session. That's barely a studying session. So already you've got to choose. So the fact of having a schedule allows you to keep all your options open and think, oh, I can do everything I wanted to today rather than having to choose. You hate that feeling of choosing on which one should I do, because in reality you want to make progress in both, and that's where a schedule comes in. Having a clear schedule, making yourself time efficient, and we're going to run you through how you're going to do that. So, step one, think about the areas that you're interested in. So in this case, it'll be building a good physique and your academics. It's that simple. Now you need to think about, right, how much time do I need to invest into my physique and my academics to get the goal that I want? So the goals that you want to get straight A's, or you want to get into your university of choice, or B, I want to build a great physique. These are the two goals that you have, but they're slightly conflicting. Just because of the time that you have to consume, and it's not, you can't study and go to the gym at the same time. You know, they're slightly conflicting. So now you need to think, right, how much do I need to invest into it to get my goal? So for the gym, it could be, oh, I need to go to the gym 3 times a week, or oh, I need to go to the gym 6 times a week. Now you don't know which one to choose, so now you go over to the studying one. Right, for studying, this is what I suggest, by the way. For studying, I would suggest, if you're in GCSEs, so you've got 9, 10, 11 subjects to actually revise for, I would suggest 1 to 2 hours per subject per week, so around 10 hours of revision a week. If it's your priority, if it's the grade you want to get, if it's your absolute priority, 10 hours per subject per week at GCSE, when you've got, not 10 hours, 1 hour to 2 hours per subject per week at GCSE, when you've got about 10 subjects to be able to account for, is more than enough. When it gets to college, when it gets to A level, when it gets to university, when you've got less subjects but the subject load becomes wider, you can then dictate more hours into each subject because you've just got less subjects to worry about. So now you talk about 2 to 4 hours per subject per week at A level or university level. So you're still doing the same amount of revision, you're still doing the same amount of studying. However, you can dictate more time into specific subjects because you have less of them. But the workload is more, so it works out the same. You get what I'm saying? So 2 to 4 hours per subject per week. So now you have a choice to make in your gym progress. Do I go 3 days a week or do I go 6 days a week? And you've got a definite for your studying, right? I want to revise 10 hours per week, or 1 to 2 hours per subject per week, or 2 to 4 hours per subject per week. You have a definitive goal you need to work towards. So now you make a schedule around studying. So, right, this week I'm going to study. I've got 4 subjects. I'm at A level. I've got 3 subjects I need to study for. So I'm going to revise 3 hours per subject per week. I'm going to meet in the middle, and I'm just going to start off in the middle. And then if I think I need more revision, I'll up it later. So that means you're doing 9 hours of revision total. So you're going to study about an hour and a half every single day. So it's like, okay, on Monday I have a maths lesson, so I think I'll be pretty fatigued of maths at that day, so I'll revise biology that day and I'll do an hour and a half there. And you go through the week and you find out times where you can revise each subject per week, and then you add it up at the end of your week schedule and think, have I hit my 3 hours per subject per week of this subject, that subject, that subject? And now, when you create that, now you have a weekly schedule for your studying. It's that simple. So maybe every night, or maybe you do it in the morning, or maybe you do it in your freeze. That's even better. Bonus tip, if you can study it in your freeze because you're already in school and already in that academic mindset where you can get away from the distractions within your sixth form, etc. If you can study in your freeze, I know in GCSE you don't get freeze, you have a fucking military timetable, but when you get to college and university especially, when you have free time for independent study, use that. Definitely use that, because then it frees time to put home and do your personal things a lot easier. But now you're hitting your study goals for a week, and now you look, alright, I've got 3 hours at the end of every single day now. Will I be able to realistically go to the gym 6 times a week? You notice how we started off schedulising the definite goal that we had rather than the choice. In the gym we had a choice between 3 or 6 days a week, but in the studying section we knew, right, we need to study this many hours per week. And you started off with the one that you were definite about, because now that you've scheduled in the ones that you're definite about, now you can look and think, alright, does 6 days a week work for me? And the answer is yes or no, rather than being the type of person that's like, alright, yeah, I'll definitely go 6 days a week. Which, if you can, is great, by the way, But if you are then finding lacking time in throughout the week, and you think, right, maybe 6 days a week wasn't good for me, but you chose 6 days a week anyway, and now you're going 4 to 5 times a week, you're going to start feeling bad about the fact that you're skipping the gym. You're going to start feeling negative, and then that's going to put you in the wrong emotional frequency to make gains and also study really well as well. Because instead of focusing on the task at hand, the bodybuilding task, the studying task, you're going to be neurotically thinking, oh, I keep missing sessions, or I keep failing at my schedule, I'm not good enough, etc. And that's going to then reduce your diminishing returns in studying and also the gym as well. So it's all about understanding what routine works for you. Because going to the gym 3 times a week is perfectly fine. It's perfectly okay. You're still going to make amazing progress from that. In fact, in my course below, we give a 3-day a week and a 6-day a week routine. So if you want to build the best physique that you've ever gotten, first link in the description. You're still going to make amazing gains doing 3 days a week. So it's just up to you whether you can fit that 6 days a week routine in. You can fit that 6 days a week routine in. If not, do the 3 days a week routine. It's that simple. And then, now you've got your fitness schedule and your studying schedule. Now you're thinking, right, I know when I'm going to train, but I don't know what I'm going to eat and when I'm going to take my supplements, etc. You're going to make a schedule for that too. And you may say, well, how am I going to make a schedule for food and supplements? What? It's super, super simple. You don't want to, when your priority, when you want to go all in on your studying, when you want to go all in on your academics, you don't want to be worrying, you don't want to be wasting brain points on, oh, have I had enough food today? And a schedule allows you to do that. When you know exactly what you're eating, at what time, and if you just eat that food that you've already got in your house, you don't have to, and you're going to make your bulking goal, for example, you're going to make your cutting goal, for example, you're going to hit your protein goal, for example. If you know that in the schedule that you make, then you don't have to think about it in the day. Then you know, right, I've got my schedule, and as long as I eat what I usually eat on a daily basis, I'll hit my protein goal, I'll hit my bulking goal, for example. Then you don't have to think about what you're going to eat every single day. So now all of a sudden you've gone from neurotically thinking about, am I hitting my protein goal every single day, to, oh, I don't even think about it, and I can just put all my brain points into studying. And now you've got more mental bandwidth for studying, and then you're going to get better grades. And it's the same with supplements as well. So again, I've got a video on my channel talking about making a food list, making an ingredients list, making a food schedule from that. I've got a video on my channel. If you just scroll through my channel, actually write a good nutrition, probably it will come up. So if you're interested in that, check out my other video. And then also, first link in the description, we give meal advice and nutritional advice in my course that I'm able to fuel your body correctly to build the best physique you've ever wanted. So first link in the description for that. So you want to make a food routine list and a supplement routine list. With the supplements, it's really easy. You just pick the supplements you want to take and then just take it every morning. Just take it every morning with your morning creatine or your morning protein shake, which we'll get onto in a minute. And now you're all of a sudden, instead of having to choose between fitness and academics, because of your schedule, you're not only able to fit everything in, you're not only able to fit a studying session and a gym session every single day when you've only got 5 hours left of your day, which is extremely productive, by the way. Just a side point, you're going to feel so fulfilled and so happy, and so your self-esteem is going to skyrocket just because you know you're doing as much as possible to achieve your goals. You're doing as much as possible. When you don't have a lot of time and you fill that in just enough and you're productive enough just to fit in everything you wanted to in the day, you're going to fucking feel amazing. You're never going to feel that, oh, I should have done that today and I didn't do that, when you go to sleep and then you're struggling to sleep and then you wake up later and it's going to happen again. You're never going to feel that anymore. You're going to feel, damn, I'm fucking proud of myself that I did all this today. Let's go again tomorrow. So that's the bonus point. You're going to be so much happier in life. But not only are you able to fit everything in, you're not going to fit a study session and a gym session and your nutrition's right, etc. Having a schedule takes the mental bandwidth out of things that don't need to be there. Instead of thinking about, oh, am I going to hit my protein goal? Am I going to hit my bulking goal? Oh, am I going to train correctly today? Instead of thinking about that, am I going to have enough time to train? Instead of thinking about these things, because you've already got your schedule, you know, yeah, because I've done it last week, did it the week before that, of course I've got enough time, I'm just going to do it like a normal day. You don't have to think about that anymore, and you can put all your brain points, all your mental bandwidth, all your energy into the studying, and that is going to be the thing that gets you the best grade as well. So you see how having a schedule not only makes enough time, but it also gives you the mental bandwidth to achieve your results. Because it's the person that studies and is truly focused on studying that gets the grades, not the person that, although has studied for hours, but is neurotically thinking about other things, is distracted, is worried if they should go to the gym or not. That type of person doesn't get the grades. Believe you me, I got into my top university of choice, University of Leeds, or ABB, at A level. I didn't get that. I didn't do that because I was neurotically thinking about other things. I'm not naturally the smartest kid. I, in no way, shape, or form, would naturally get an A in a maths paper at A level. No way, shape, or form. I'm not the most intelligent guy ever. People used to make me look stupid in class. My teacher used to have a running joke with me in class because I just didn't get things straight away. And I got an A in my paper in that lesson because I knew that if I studied with full focus and I had my schedule in place and I didn't have to think neurotically about other things and nothing infiltrate my mind, that I would truly take in the information and then be able to pass my exam because of it. And that's the beauty of it. It not only makes enough time for you, but it also alleviates a lot of mental pressure off you so you can truly focus on the studying. So you can do both. You just need to be extremely time efficient and just reduce the amount of brain points that you're wasting on things that don't need brain points, like what you're going to eat, like when you're going to train. These things should already be predetermined, pre-decided. And then just a few other benefits that I'll give to you that can purely optimize your mental bandwidth for your studying, etc. Train art as late in the day as possible. So try and study before you train, if that makes sense. So if you're in college, you're obviously still going to be pretty fatigued from being in sixth form all day or being in school all day. I completely understand that. However, if you were then to train after that and then study after that, your brain's going to be instantly 25-50% more retarded, easily. And that's going to decrease the quality of your studying session. So what I suggest is, if you have choice over this, try and study before you lift or exercise. Just because you know that lifting, if you've ever lifted to extreme intensity before, which I'm assuming you would have if you followed my advice, if you genuinely, truly train to intensity, it's so mentally fatiguing, it's so draining. And you know that if you try and do anything after that, you know for a fact your brain is just working 50% less, you're 50% more retarded. And if you think, oh no, I could easily revise after that, I think I'm pretty mentally efficient after the gym, most likely you're not training hard enough. It's that simple. Every time I come home from the gym, I feel drained. My social battery goes down 50%. I just don't want to fucking talk to people. It's just can't be arsed. And that's because it's so mentally fatiguing. It is just so excruciatingly painful and mentally fatiguing that you just become retarded after it. So if you could, definitely study before you train if you're doing it on the same day. Now, fasting is genuinely very, very good for the studying part of your journey. Fasting is going to help to make your brain in a more clear, natural state. When you eat, you feel very lethargic and it slows down your brain. You know this because after an animal does a really big hunt, they usually do a really big hunt when they're fasted, and then when they eat, they lie down, they play, they rest after they eat. And it's the same with humans. It's the same biological mechanism. When you eat, your body thinks it's done. I've done the life goal. I've survived. Our body has still got the same nervous system from our ancestors millions and millions of years ago because it takes that long to evolve. So we've still got the same mechanism in our body of being like, oh, we've eaten now, we've survived. We don't have to be as alert, we don't have to be as focused anymore because we've hit the goal for today, we've survived. The human body only cares about survival. That is its number one priority, survival. So when you eat, you're like, oh, right, I've done the job for today, it's probably time to rest and recover so I can then do the same thing tomorrow, the next day. So you naturally feel lethargic after eating. So this is why fasting is just genuinely beneficial for sharpness of the mind, focus, and studying efficiency overall. However, it is also known that fasting isn't exactly optimal for gym progress, you want to make sure that you're getting protein synthesis around the clock in a 16-hour window. And what this basically means is you want to eat protein as early on in the day, throughout the day, and as late on in the day as possible. It doesn't affect your sleep or any other lifestyle impact at all. You want to eat protein as often throughout the day as possible. And I found that these two things are quite conflicting, but I did find that just having a scoop or two of whey protein with water will allow you to set off that protein synthesis because you're just drinking straight protein, but it still has the same effect as fasting, purely because I think you're not actually eating anything. It's like you're just drinking water, you know? Like, you drink water in the morning anyway, and it still counts as being fasted, and I think this is the same process, but you're still starting that protein synthesis that we talked about for muscle growth. So I think in the morning you should have a scoop or two of whey protein with about 300 to 500 milliliters of water, so that's probably about up to here on the bottle. 2 scoops of whey protein, you just drink it. That way you still feel fasted so you can study efficiently, but then you're also starting the protein synthesis mechanism as early as possible in a day. So I think both of them things are very crucial for your studying and gym, so they don't clash in your lifestyle at all. And then that is it. So the biggest thing is the schedule. Have the schedule so you can fit the time in and you're not neurotically thinking and distracting yourself from the studying sessions either. Then obviously, if you can, train after you study just so you still feel mentally sharp-ish for studying after a long day in college. And then also you want to get protein synthesis but also feel the effects of fasting, so your brain's mentally sharp for your studying, but you're also having protein synthesis throughout the day for your muscle building physique. They're the main things that you're going to worry about if you want to have your dream physique while also not clashing with your academics. They're the biggest things. We teach more stuff like this in my first link in the description. I think it's the best pro I've ever made, and if you want to be able to achieve great goals academically, if you want to achieve great goals physically, that course is the best thing that you could ever do. I genuinely think that I've spilled all the secrets that I've curated over 3.5 years in my fitness journey, and I can help you build an aesthetic physique as a teenager. I'm still 18, I've got a great physique for my age. I feel absolutely amazing. Every area of my life is fucking amazing and it all stems from having a good physique. And I was able to balance that with academics pretty well to get into the top university of my choice, while also building a fucking top 1% physique in my age category. So if you're interested in achieving any of those goals, like I was, because I was no more like you a few years ago, definitely join my program. Top link in the description, because it'll be the best thing you'll ever do for your physique. I promise you that. And then also, my personal Instagram is in the description, so if you have any questions, maybe you haven't got the point across in the video, if you have any personal questions about your personal transformation that you want to ask me about, message me on Instagram and I'll get back to you on there easily, bro. And I'll give you some direct personal advice on there as well. I can't wait for you to make amazing gains, and I'll see you later, bro.